plastic surgery thing, I think that's an interesting idea, Susan. They're not really doing it necessarily to appeal to a male gaze, but I would argue that they're not really doing it necessarily to appeal to any gaze necessarily. Plastic surgery and immigration are totally inextricable in my novel. And I think if you talk to people who get these procedures a lot, I was just talking to this woman who, she's very glamorous, she's older, and she writes for German Vogue, and she told me that she had done a story for German Vogue where she got a nose job a long time ago, decades ago, and wrote about it, and it was like this whole piece. And I asked her why she did it and how she felt about it afterwards, and she said she always had her father's nose, and she didn't want it, and she never liked it because she hated her father, and so she wanted to rid herself of him, basically, of his presence in her body. And she had no problems with it. It wasn't botched. She said she was happy. But similarly, in New Skin, my characters get plastic surgery for different reasons, and one of them is this idea of meritocracy, plastic surgery as meritocracy. One character, the character that you're referring to, her name is Ami. She's an undocumented immigrant, and she works in an illicit med spa, and she also has had illicit nose jobs. And I'm also talking about class a lot in the novel. Now that plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures are becoming more and more popularized, it seems like if we wanted, we could walk out the door and find a place to get some fillers injected into our face, you know, and at varying price ranges. I think people's desires, especially in like in the consumerist West that we live in, we are all exposed to the same things. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't want a Chanel bag. But instead of going into a Chanel store on Fifth Avenue, you might go to Canal Street. And that's fine. And same with plastic surgery. The unfortunate thing about that is poverty is always about taking risks, right? You may want the same things, but if you can't afford a nose job, you know, at a Beverly Hills clinic, you might fly to another country to get one for a couple grand or something, which is possible, but there's risks involved, right? And so I think the issues that I'm addressing through plastic surgery are universal issues of like poverty.